I told you all, don't believe the hype. Don't believe all these catchy slogans, phrases that come out of these mouths of these women in this universe mode. Instead, believe in what you see happen in this ring. I was the one who got my arm raised at the end of the night. I told you I would. I told you Becky was a fraud, a fake, a pretender, a wannabe, but you just wouldn't have it. You kept cheering her, and instead you should have been cheering me. I am the queen. I run this whole division. I'm the biggest star on this roster. Now I've told you this, and now I've proved it. There's probably just one woman who could have taken the title away from me, and she didn't even stand much of a chance, and now she goes down to the very bottom of the queue. So I'm going to sit up here, I'm going to hold my title on my throne for an awfully long time to come. So you have a choice: believe in me, cheer me, because it's what you're going to see anyway, or keep going against me and just suffer week in, week out, month in, month out, because ain't nobody on this roster good enough to take my title away from me. Welcome everybody back to Gamer Life. Tonight we are bringing you another edition of SmackDown Week 5 already. Cannot believe it. It is going to be another big one tonight. Two huge watchable matches. One we already know about, Randy Orton and Big E for the number one contender for the WWE title. There's another one that's been added. We'll get into that shortly. But first let's take a look at everything else that we've got going on tonight. Starting with Eric Young versus Samoa Joe. This match is of huge importance. It is a Money in the Bank qualifier. Eric Young has got a big opportunity against an informed Samoa Joe tonight. Eric himself, we saw back in week 1, he picked up a win against Epico Colon, so that was a good start for him. And then the week after, we saw him with his Sanity brothers, giving them support as they beat the Colons in tag team format. So it's been a good start for Sanity. We haven't seen them for a few weeks, but when we have seen them, they have delivered. They've done really well. Samoa Joe, obviously, will still be fresh in the head. We know that he beat Y2J, no holds barred, just last week, after beating him before that in week 2, and then proceeding to beat him up after the match with a chair. So Joe has been heavily involved in the last few weeks, so things are going really well for him. It'll be a hard fought match, that one. Whoever wins will surely deserve it, and good luck to the both of them. Then we move across and we've got Jeff Hardy versus Tony Nese. It's a debut for Nese tonight, the first time that we're seeing him in any way, shape or form here in Universe mode. Jeff, we saw in week 3, he got a big win against Andrade, and that sort of has unofficially really moved him to number one contender spot for the US Championship. It's not official yet, but he beat Andrade, who beat Shinsuke, so sort of unofficially he is there. Jeff just needs to keep building the momentum really in this one, and obviously Nese, we know he's going to need to get off to a good start, but that is not going to be easy. Now we turn our attention to the women's division, and we have a massive match here. We've got Asuka unbeaten, Nikki Bella unbeaten, Bianca Belair unbeaten, and Paige making her long-awaited return. So this one is going to be a very significant match in the women's division, although if you heard what Charlotte said before we came on air, she really doesn't even care who wins this one. There's no one on this roster good enough to beat her anyway, which I found very disrespectful to the rest of the division, and there was obviously more distasteful comments about Becky in that little segment now, so that doesn't look like it's finished yet, Charlotte and Becky, but she might well have to deal with the winner of this match before she can progress and get back to Becky. apparently, according to Charlotte, we don't know if that's official yet, Becky is now back at the bottom of the list for a title shot, so she's got a lot of work to do there. But big match that one, good luck to all involved. And then we move to the tag division. Finally, we get to see the family, both the Jacksons, and they're going to be going up against Rusev Day. The Jacksons have Brie Bella outside. I've already mentioned how in this universe mode, Nikki is the partner of Casey, and then you've got David in this match as well, who is also the partner of Brie, so you can see why they're called the family. But in any event, it is a debut for both teams in this universe mode and a huge opportunity to get your name out there in this tag team division. And speaking of the tag division, that is exactly where we stay. Tonight we have got New Day without Big E, because we know he's competing against Randy Orton, which was going to be the main event, but we'll get to that in a bit. And they have definitely not got a gimme in this one. They go up against The Bar. Sheamus, Cesaro both have singles victories in this universe mode, but it's the first time that we're seeing them compete in the tag division tonight. Similarly, New Day, obviously Big E got to this what was going to be main event by picking up a singles win against AJ Styles, no less. And then that was followed up by a win for Kofi and Xavier Woods in the tag division. So they all members of this match are undefeated, much like the women's match we spoke about a second ago. So this one I expect to be highly charged, highly competitive. It's going to be hard hitting against speed really. But yeah, I'm excited to see how that one goes. Now speaking of Big E, he was going to be in the main event with Randy Orton tonight. There is a reason that hasn't happened, which will be revealed in just a minute. But Big E has got his work cut out tonight. It's a great chance for him to try and get some single success, because since he joined New Day, really that's where all the attention has been on the trio rather than any one individual. So Big E could just break away from that a little bit tonight and put his name out there as a real serious threat in the singles division. Randy has been absolutely on fire since Universe Mode started. He's undefeated himself, but again we'll go more into that as we cover the match. Now this is the reason why Randy Orton and Big E is not the main event. This was a decision taken by Chris Hammer and the team in the back to have this match, literally because both of their champions have only lost matches so far in this universe mode, and they've took the decision that they want that to change. The only way really you can guarantee something there is going to change is by sticking them against each other. So that's exactly what they've done, and tonight we have ourselves a huge champion versus champion match. What the fallout of this is going to be, well, who knows, we'll have to wait and see, but definitely it should be a good one, and someone at the end of this night is going to have a much needed confidence boost. Right, so going into the results now, let's see how everyone has got on tonight. This is an absolutely massive upset in my view. I don't know how management's going to feel about this one, to be honest, because the winner was going to be entered into the Money in the Bank, and they are still going to be. But I have a sneaking suspicion that when Chris Hammer put this match together, he was probably expecting that Samoa Joe would be the one who was going to pick up the decision, but that has not happened. Eric Young, congratulations, that is a huge upset win, and that is going to open a lot of doors for Eric now. Imagine if he can bring that briefcase to SmackDown. He has the power over the WWE title almost, and if him and Sanity can grab that title, then that's going to be a very unusual era we'll go into, with Sanity basically running the place. But that's for down the line. At the moment, just take the win. It's a great win. Congratulations, Eric Young. And then moving on, Jeff Hardy would go ahead and beat Tony Nese. That moves Jeff to 2-0 now and keeps that momentum like we was on about earlier. Not really much more to say about this one. For me personally, you guys might think different, but it was the expected result, so congratulations, Jeff. Unfortunately for Nese, that means he's just going to have to sit around probably and wait for another kind of opportunity to come up for himself. And then following that, as we know, we had the women's division, probably the least significant match on the card. Charlotte's words, not mine. No, in all seriousness, it is a great win for Asuka. There was some good competition in that ring. Everyone except for Paige, who had a match, was unbeaten going in, and Asuka has came out on top. For me, I know what Charlotte says earlier, maybe she knew this match was coming around and it was early mind games for her next #1 contender. If that's what Asuka is, there's no official word on that yet, that's just me speculating, but after winning a match like that, you've got to imagine that puts Asuka to 2-0 now as well, that she's done enough to be the next in line, maybe at Money in the Bank, maybe later, maybe she's even got to do more. Like I said, it's just me speculating, but there is no denying that is an absolutely huge win for Asuka there. And then it would be the turn of the tag division. Like I said earlier, both of these teams debutants. It would be the family that picked up the win, a count out win no less. There was a little bit of back and forth between the two brothers after this, because David was not very happy that Casey would go out there and win by count out, but Casey decided a win is a win, and I suppose that is now going to go into the record books as a win for the family. So he has a point. It's not the way that most choose to win, but it is a win nonetheless. So couple of stories developing there. We'll have to see the cohesion between the two as time goes on, but for Rusev Day, they may even want a rematch because of the way this one ended. Who knows? Well, again, like I said, there's more questions than answers come out of that one just because of how it ended. We'll have to wait and see what develops, if anything, but it is a good start nonetheless for the family. And then we moved on to the tag division match that had a little bit more significance just because there's a bit of history with the guys in the ring in this one. And New Day are the ones that take the L. Cesaro's the one who gets the victory. He gets it over Xavier Woods. So now New Day are in the losing column as well as the winning column, but for the bar that is huge. For the tag division, the fact that they have won, what does that really mean? Again, we'll have to wait and see with that, because at the moment they've both been successful in singles competition and they may be pursuing individual honours. I don't really know, I can't confirm that, but the fact that they've chosen to go down that route would suggest so. But then you see them in the tag division tonight, they looked absolutely awesome against the New Day and they got the job done. So there's a lot of opportunity by the looks of it moving forward for the bar at the moment. Can someone please tell me why we're looking at a still on the screen at the moment of Big E looking like he's been laid out in the catering area? I want to say that is, I'm not 100% sure on that. But why does it look like he's been laid out in almost exactly the same fashion as Daniel Bryan was? Big E is supposed to be having a #1 contenders match with Randy Orton right now. It doesn't look like that's going to go ahead. Please do not tell me that this has happened again. Have we got the Daniel Bryan situation happening here again? There's nobody around by the looks of it. Big E is just absolutely lying there still, and it doesn't look like he's going to be competing tonight. But where does that leave the next match? Randy Orton now does not have an opponent, so we need to do something here. Okay guys, we're back. What's going to happen is management has decided we're going to have champion v champion right now, and we're going to Randy Orton, he's going to have a match tonight. We're not too sure yet who that is going to be against, but I cannot believe that this has happened again. We were supposed to have Daniel Bryan and AJ back in week 2, if you remember, for the WWE title. That got brushed aside because Daniel Bryan got took out the week before. Now, a couple of weeks after that, Chris Hammer came out and says if anybody was to interfere in his business again, for example, making this match between Big E and Randy Orton, that there was going to be consequences. But the thing is, we still don't know yet who took out Daniel Bryan. No one's been able to speak to him since, because he's been in the hospital recovering. And now Big E's been taken out in what looks like the same fashion. He must have been going to get himself some kind of refreshment before his match. and obviously he didn't have his New Day brothers with him because they were competing with the Bar, and then we just get a still thrown up onto the screen of Big E lying there, absolutely laid out. So it does look very much like it's happened again, and somebody needs to get some kind of control over what's going on at the moment. Every time a big match is announced on this brand, it seems like somebody puts a stop to it. Again, it could be something to do with this very guy here, because does he really want to, while he's on a losing streak, face Big E and definitely face Randy Orton, both who have already beaten him in non-title situations? I wouldn't imagine that he would, so you have to ask the question, is it AJ? Does he know who's doing it if it's not him? Why? I can't see a connection except for the WWE title between Big E and Daniel Bryan. There's just not a connection there at all. So at the moment, what is going on this brand? Who is taking these guys out? Why are they taking them out? When did that even happen? There's so many questions regarding what's going on backstage at the moment. You have to say, AJ again, he was upset with me saying this before, but he again is the one with the most to lose, so how can you not put him as prime suspect at the moment? Anyone who might have thought that Randy Orton had anything to do with it, I mean, it was hard to see how he would, but you've got to say he would have probably fancied himself to become #1 contender tonight, so I would rule him out there. Big E and New Day were in the frame, only New Day were in the ring when it happened this time, and Big E himself he was the one took out, so that rules them out for me. I'm not too sure now who that leaves other than AJ, to be honest. Like I say, if he's not done it himself, then maybe we know he's good friends with Gallows and Anderson. Maybe they were something to do with it on behalf of AJ. Just so many questions around that at the moment. And as far as I can see now, if you were investigating it and trying to keep score, for me it's back to square one. All of the people really that had something to gain from Daniel being taken out have kind of either got alibis now, or they've lost something themselves now Big E's been taken out. So yeah, completely and utterly stunned on that one. If you guys though think that you know who it is, drop it in the comments box below, maybe give a reason as well. Again, let's just have a bit of fun with what's going on at the moment. But we really should now turn our attention to this match. I mean, it is champion versus champion. There's a lot on the line for both of these guys at the minute. Neither of them have been in good form. Neither of them have picked up a win yet, so they really need to get going. I mean, Shinsuke, week 1, it's a new week, everyone's fully charged. I would have expected him, being a champion, to have beat Andrade in that week, but he came away with a loss. Then we didn't see him for a few weeks, and he come back in week 4. He was in that big fatal 4-way match with Sheamus and a couple of others. We already touched on earlier that Sheamus picked up the win on that night, so he's been in matches, but he's not got the job done in either of them. Similarly with AJ, he was also active from week 1, as we know, and as he would have expected to be as well, being the champion and all. Is Shane going to go for a pin here? We'll come back to that point in a second. He's got a 1, and he's got just a 1 as well. Yeah, AJ against Daniel Bryan before he got took out. Obviously, he came away with a loss there. We saw him again in week 2. To be fair to him, he was prepared for a rematch with Daniel Bryan for his title, so he would have gone away and got himself ready for that one. And unfortunately, or we don't know whether it's unfortunate or whether it was planned, Daniel Bryan gets taken out that week before that match has a chance to take place, and then all of a sudden you've got the powerhouse of Big E to deal with, so maybe a little bit unfortunate there, I suppose you could say. And then Randy Orton last week 3 positioned himself really beautifully, asking for a match against AJ and getting that match signed off on. It was a great move. Obviously we spoke about it during that match. Randy has been around the block. He knows how to position himself and how to maneuver to get what he wants. And he saw AJ weak on a losing streak and decided that it would be a great time to face him. And so it proved, because AJ lost once again. So you could say in a way that AJ's been a bit unlucky. Maybe he's a victim of circumstance, maybe he manufactured those circumstances. At the moment we just don't know. But what we do know is, and what we're very, very quickly learning, is that anything can happen at any point during this universe mode. It's twice now on SmackDown in particular that the big matches have had to be rebooked and reordered on the fly. So yeah, things can change quickly from night to night, from minute to minute. But as champion, really, like the champion as well, let's just see if he gets the victory. The ref's a bit out of position. That's Shinsuke there at least a second. So I don't think AJ would have got the 3 off that, but yeah, he doesn't. It's not cost him the match, but it's probably cost him a 2 count maybe. But yeah, in any event, as the WWE champion, the brand's biggest star by holding that title, AJ has got to know that he has got to adapt quickly on the fly. He would know that himself. He looked down on himself when he was coming down to the ring tonight. I was going to mention it, but we were into the fact that Big E had been taken out there. But yeah, he didn't look very confident, and it's no surprise really. So this one is a great chance for one of these two to get themselves going. You got Shinsuke 0-2 at the moment, AJ 0-3, and it looks like it might be 0-4 because Shinsuke has just hit the Kinshasa. AJ's foot was very handily placed under the bottom rope there. I think that might have been more luck than judgment for AJ. He's dodged a bullet there, absolutely no doubt. Styles now, straight away after that, he's going to go for the Styles Clash. He's hit it as well. Shinsuke's not in the ropes, and AJ gets a 1 count. He's got a 2 count, and he's got the win. At last the champion picks up the win. Huge slice of luck there in my opinion, having his foot under the rope after the Kinshasa. But he's made the most of it, and we were just talking about adaptations and having to move quickly, and that's exactly what he did. Realised he dodged the bullet, went straight for the Styles Clash, no messing about, didn't release either, went straight into the pinfall. So AJ gets a much needed win. He had the week off last week to try and get himself together. It looks like he did that. There were points in this match, like you just saw there, where you could see he was physically slowing down. I suppose it is that much more effort and that much more difficult to do what these guys do in the ring when you're just not feeling yourself. But maybe now he'll get a confidence boost out of this and start picking up wins. He's dodged bullets all the way through at the moment. Like I say, he dodged one there. He dodged one not having to defend his title all the way through. He's still not yet got an official #1 contender now. We're still waiting to see. We know Randy's going to be coming out next. We don't know who he's going to be facing. It's whoever is in the back ready to go, I suppose. Will it be a main event star? Will it not be? We just don't know. We're going to have to wait and see who pops through the curtain. But AJ looks very relieved at the moment, and with good reason, but he has got it done, so well done to AJ tonight. He really needed that. And we are now moving straight into what is now the main event. Randy Orton's about to join us in the ring. Don't know too much about what Randy's going to be thinking of this one, just as we don't. He has no idea who his opponent's actually going to be tonight. He was preparing himself for Big E, as we know, but that's not going to happen. But it's going to be a test for him. We were just mentioning the same thing about AJ Styles, not being able to adapt on the fly, which it's becoming more and more apparent is going to be an absolutely crucial skill here in Universe Mode. So we're going to find out now whether Randy has that skill or not tonight. He is in good form, so he's going to be a test for whoever it is that steps up through that curtain to face him. Week 1, he got a win against The Miz. I'd have to check, but I don't believe we've actually seen The Miz since then. Then in week 3, he beat AJ Styles himself. We know that he's probably manoeuvred himself in such a way, like I said, he asked for that match and he got granted it, so he knew and was wise enough that it was a good time to face AJ, and he manoeuvred his way into that position. We know Randy can do that, we know he's about that, and now we're about to find out. You have got to be kidding me. Really? Mike Kanellis is going to try and take on Randy Orton. Okay, well, like I just said, I'm really speechless about this one. Randy would definitely, most definitely not have been expecting this. I mean, I wasn't, so he's got the element of surprise, but if we're being absolutely down the line, 100% honest with this, the element of surprise is pretty much the only thing he has got. Well, he's got Maria. Maybe she is the one who's going to fight Randy. I don't know. But yeah, Mike, this is his debut. I don't know if this is the level that he wants to be starting at. I'm actually just being told right now that it was Maria that pushed for this match. We was going to have Bobby Lashley because we know that he issued an open challenge last week and not one person has stepped up to fight him, which I suppose it's not really that surprising, is it? He was in a very bad mood last week, and he's probably in an even worse one now because he's still not being given an opportunity to get in the ring and showcase his skills. I don't know how, and I don't want to speculate how Maria managed to get in there and get this match for Mike ahead of him, but in any event, it's an aggressive start for Orton. Like I say, he's 2-0 at the moment. Mike's making his debut, and Mike is going to have to bring some kind of fight tonight to get anything against Randy. That's my view anyway. We do keep saying tonight that it's becoming prevalent that anything can happen here in this universe mode, so in that instance, Mike could get the win. I would seriously doubt it, but he could. Even against an out of form Randy Orton, I think Mike struggles, but the form that Orton is in at the moment, I just see nothing here other than an Orton win. But this is a decent start here by Mike, no doubt about it, hanging Randy on the top rope there and then giving him a good kick to the back. This is exactly what he's going to have to do. He's got to find some way to keep Orton down and off the offense, but nobody in universe mode so far has been able to do that, and Randy hits a massive move there with an exploder suplex already. We're only about a minute or two into this one and we're going for the DDT already as well. This vintage Orton, he's picked the ropes right in front of Maria to deliver that as well. She's now jumped up on the apron and she's doing something with a buckle there, ref. Are you blind? Did she remove it? No, she's adjusted something, no. It's not put Randy off. Oh, and now she's back up on the apron again. Come on, ref. Already she's been involved in this match twice. I'm surprised in a way that Randy didn't go for the pin after he hit the vintage DDT, but maybe he just wants to have some fun tonight. He's just took dominance of the ring there, chucked Mike out the ring. He's telling Maria to get Mike back in here, but Mike is completely dazed. It might be a little bit of an error here, maybe a bit of overconfidence from Randy to, just to let Mike get his win back there when he built up a nice bit of momentum. We've got an irate going on from Kanellis here at the moment. This would be such a huge upset if he gets this. He's gone for the pin, but Randy kicks out at 1. And it's back to the drawing board at the moment for Mike. Randy picks him up now, just slams him down with ease. It's a matter of time this one already, and time might already be up because Randy is already looking for an RKO. I see a chair in the ring. Randy misses. I don't know what he was thinking there. Might use the ropes to get up, and now he's going to use the ropes to be choked by Randy. And now he goes for the RKO again. He's really not messing around tonight. I'm assuming he's extremely frustrated, to be honest, Orton, because he should have been officially named #1 contender if he did get the win tonight. But again, Maria gets involved there when Mike was in trouble. The ref needs to do something about her. She's chucked the chair in the ring as well. I think the ref has moved that now though. And Mike tries to take control of Orton again. What's he doing now? He's gone under the ring to get a weapon himself. He's got a sledgehammer, for God's sake, ref. This is turning into a bit of a joke. He swings and misses there, does Mike. Maria's got the ref distracted again. It didn't work for Kanellis. He got hit with the sledgehammer, the wooden part of it himself. But maybe the distraction has worked, because he's took control for a second at least. And it literally was a second. Oh, snap suplex and a nice float over from Orton there. And again, Maria is on the apron. The ref needs really to do something here. This is ridiculous at the moment. Orton's going to go for that vintage DDT again, and this might just be... It is, he's just cracked Kanellis' skull straight off that sledgehammer. Maria had to sit and watch, well, stand and watch that as well. Instinctively, more than anything, I think Kanellis has just got back on the offense. I don't even know how he's standing right now, if I'm being completely honest. He's going for the cover. This is out of desperation. It has to be. His skull must be absolutely killing him at the moment after getting DDT'd onto that sledgehammer. Randy's caught the leg, put it in the leg lace, and Kanellis goes and gets himself a breather, a much needed one, I might add as well. Randy's going to the top rope here. We don't see this too often anymore. We have seen him use the crossbody in the past, but he misses by a mile. I think there is a little bit of overconfidence, especially with Maria now gone as well, from Randy, because you wouldn't expect him to make a mistake like that. He's trying things we've not seen him try before. Maybe he just feels he's got this in the bag. It looks like he's ready to put it to bed now though. The RKO, blood from Kanellis' head, just to add a little bit more to it, and it is mercifully over for Kanellis. I didn't see this going any other way. Randy's looking absolutely on fire in this universe mode at the moment. Great result for him. That moves him to 3-0 now. He's active at the moment every other week, and every time we see him he's getting a win. He's looking very much back to his best. I don't know at the moment now what he's going to be going on with the #1 contender slot again. That's twice now, like I said, that's been interrupted. I'm assuming a win against Kanellis. All due respect to Kanellis, he's not going to shoot Randy up into the #1 contender slot, but he's the guy I think now with the most wins on SmackDown, so that's definitely something that will be in his favour. I suppose really we'll just have to wait and see. But that is going to do it, guys, for this episode of Universe Mode. Once again, it's been an absolute blast making it. I hope that you feel that when you're watching it as well. It is just an absolute load of fun making these. I'm hoping it's just as fun for you guys to watch. But at the moment, Randy Orton is looking absolutely spectacular. Don't see really who's going to beat him. The form is in at the moment, but it's still very early days in this Universe Mode series, so a lot of tests to come for him, but he's flying through them all just now. But once again, guys, stay safe. Thanks for being here. It's been great hanging out with you all again. I will see you all for the next episode, which I believe might be Extreme Rules. I would have to double check that though. But in any event, I'll see you all soon. Bye bye, guys.